Hello, this is Jarrett, continuing to try out the Prehistoric DLC of Oxygen Not Included. I'm just trying to decide what to do today. I was either going to do lumb exploration here, or I've been spending a lot of time here in the feather biome. I think I might actually continue with that. Specifically, wanted to try the Rhex stable. Actually, I do have a Rhex stable down here experiment with earlier, but we're going to take that a little bit further today. Also, we're going to put in this back end. I've got this entrance to this biome. In the last episode, I did a lot of insulation all around. So I want to have another airlock. Be able to get in and out of here. Make sure we've got this in place as well. I'm going to try just to dump this salt water down rather than have to pump in water. We'll see how that turns out. Also going to remove this. I suspect I'm going to remove the Rhex stable from over here to there. And this guy, Mega Frond. I haven't experimented with that. They like chlorine. Well, we've got lots of chlorine, so that's a good thing. Okay, that might not be enough salt. Well, maybe if I actually did this instead. I'm starting to get dupes now that have exosuit training, which gives me an exosuit penalty reduction. So spending more time in this biome where we need clearly need atmosuits, less of an issue, which is nice. Okay, if I can get someone to dig that out, I'm just curious whether this is going to be enough liquid to be able to work with. Okay, that might just do. Put this up there. And we'll get a ladder going up. A reason, well, I want to go in this biome too, but I in particular want to make sure we get all the Rhexes we can. So just planning out my Rhex stable. That's going to go here. I currently have one down here. Actually, I only meant to have two of these guys. Feeding them meat. But yeah, I haven't been automating the egg removal there. We'll do that up here for sure. But trying to decide whether to give them the whole critter, because they'll actually eat critters, or just meat. Now, I would prefer to give them the meat. And 800 calories goes to 64,000 brine. But here's news I'm not super happy with. If I'm going to, let's say, feed them these dartles. One dartle produces 800 calories, which would give me, again, 64,000. But if I give them the actual critter themselves, we get twice the amount of brine. So it's more effective to feed them critters. How I can do that in an automated way. I mean, if I'm not doing an automated way, I guess it's not super important. Maybe we'll start with a non-automated way. And then we'll go from there. So making sure, very, very, very sure I don't have a connection right here. Just that these guys aren't able to escape. Put some tiling down. Oh, making this out of granite. I wonder, now that I think about it, igneous rock might be better because there's probably more local igneous rock. We have been actually using a lot of that. Let's just go back with that. So we get the floor of this created. We'll put in a Rhex. Now, the only thing I'm wondering, currently, I guess I've got these guys here. They're looking for food. Little do they know that they're actually going to become food rather than find food if I put them in here. But I'm concerned if I put these guys in there, they're going to be taking up energy on the grooming station. How do you effectively fit all this together? If not, if you're feeding them critters. So, I have another idea. What if we put the Rhex in the same stable as these dartles? So let's do that. The theory here is this guy actually needs to eat critters. Well, we've got critters, and all the critters that are in the room will use the grooming station. Pretty sure the ranchers will like the idea of not going to this room where it's cold. Rather, use an exosuit. Don't think that critter got wrangled. Oh, I guess the rancher went on break, maybe. Having issues. Why is wrangling not happening? Try one more time. Okay, farmer was able to do it. No. And what was that little message that appeared? Okay, let's try doing this instead. Maybe they, for some... I'm having issues moving critters by clicking and hitting move. Okay, I think that's just one of these issues where I've got to wrangle. And drop that off like this. Okay. What? Okay, let's slow this down. There's some sort of message. Let's click on this guy. Cancel relocate. Okay, let's slow this down. Trying to pick up. Trying to pick up. Looks like they added... I think that just says that they got added to the dupe, but clearly the dupe has not picked up this critter. Only other thing I can think, maybe it needs to be a drop-off point, because that's how I was doing it before. So let's get that in. Either that, or maybe we've got another bug on our hands. First thing I'll do is, well, we'll try this. If this doesn't work, I'll restart my game. So this is Rhex. Down there, drop that off at one priority. Click 1. Don't know how many critter these guys, but we'll go with just 1. So I'm going to take the tame version. Looking for food. Excellent. Let's try wrangling again. This time with a drop off. Can somebody pick this guy up? Anybody? Okay, it's working, except not exactly how I thought. I forgot that this was already a drop-off spot. That's unfortunate, but we can go again. Wrangle again. Okay, so if you're moving these critters, I guess you need to have a drop-off spot. You can't do the typical move. I'm sure that's a bug that will get fixed at some point. But at least there's an alternate way. Veterinarian is on the case. Moving this critter up. Okay, so they have added a Rhex. Rhex is being attended to in the grooming station. Just curious what's going to happen from here, because that Rhex is hungry. Bam! Ha! We just lost the Dartle. Now that should force a true signal over here, which is... Okay, I'm liking this setup better than kind of what I was thinking before down there. So this is going to signal one of our dupes, in this case Farmer, to, hey, say, Yahoo! We've got a new location for you guys to go to. So as this guy wrangles, he's going to keep wrangling, but someone should get the message and make that priority thing of dropping off one of these critters over here. Once they do... Okay, what's the priority of this? That's a 6. I better make the drop off a 7. Higher priority, that's good. So what it's going to take to break this infinite cycle of wrangling is a dupe coming in here. Picking one of these guys up. I said a dupe coming in here. I also see I put an auto sweeper here that's infinitely picking up eggs. Nuts. That's not what I had intended. If I actually change this, is going to be a little bit of a escape some of these critters. But I want this guy to not have access to that corner. I'm hoping that that can be done by changing this to mesh tiling, which I should have had there originally. But I'm not liking this setup because we've got these crowded critters that are not being dropped off here. Oh. Is that because now we've got technically 5 critters in here? I clicked on this, maximum of 1, as long as just Rhex is selected. And we've got 1, 2, we just have 3 of these guys in. So this should be working, right? I'm selecting 4, and I'm only selecting Dartle. Let's just go back to this, but clearly something's not right. Okay, good. So at least our infinite egg loop there is no longer happening. I really like this setup. We're going to keep losing these dartles. This critter's going to produce brine for us more efficiently than I am doing down here. So I'm actually going to get rid of this. I don't no longer have that as a stable anymore. But I'm going to start off by restarting my game and see if that fixes this issue. So just restarted the game. See if that cleans anything up. No, it's not looking good. I suspect we've got an issue here. It's weird because I had a maximum of 1 and this was done. I don't have an automation wire over that, right? No. First of all, temporarily, let's stop wrangling so many. So we'll force a false signal. And I'll try upping this to 5. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is now looking at 4. If we're below 4. We've got 4 critters in here. We're below 4. That should be sending a... But we're not below 4. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this critter sensor not sensing Rhex? Okay, that is odd. That's one thing. Because I should be getting a false signal here because of Rhex. And 1, 2, 3 critters. If I click on this, we see 4 critters. What's going on? Alright, need to think about this. Well, I couldn't think of much, but one thing I'm going to try to do is remove this guy. Oh, it's annoying to remove this guy, though. But let's, I think that just means I'm going to have that built. We ate another critter. So now we're down to 2. Will that actually change things, as in get a dupe to pick this critter up? Or do we have a problem where this isn't working at all? Storing 0 of 5 critters, storing 1 of 1. Storing 0 of 5. This guy's going nuts on these... Darlet! Oh! Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. Okay, I didn't want the dart. I want the dartle. Oh. Okay, let's change that to 4. That's okay. So what this means. Still a little bit confused by this, though maybe because we had one less. This guy's chomping on way more critters. I think I made an assumption that I think is wrong. Assumption I made was if I go to, maybe it's easier to go to the this critter instead. Assumption I made was that this guy, 1 unit of this guy converts into this much brine every cycle. I assume this Rhex would only eat one of these how do you pronounce it? Dartle? A cycle. But this guy is clearly eating more than that. Unless maybe it was just because he was hungry and his calories were low. Can I see his calorie count? Metabolism. That's how much calories. Maybe, yeah, he's just going through a feeding period. Let's go with that assumption. We'll see how this pans out over time. So rancher, then. Calling either one of these critters. We're not entirely sure just yet. But I'm going to send this signal back because I think we might have to do some re-wrangle. No, there is some trust critters. See if someone is going to relocate one of them. Courier, who doesn't have the ability to wrangle, is moving finally one of these critters over. That door doesn't need to be shut, does it? So that adds a dartle over here. Just need to make sure that that's going to turn off when we get to the right amount. Okay, another one being added. And then boom. So what has just happened here is we've gone to 5 critters. 4 of them are the dartle. One of them here is the Rhex, obviously. Prey, missed prey. What's that mean? The critter failed to catch a prey critter. It will fare better with elderly or tame targets. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So if you've got tame, well, that's actually kind of nice because if it goes better for elderly, I mean, it gives these guys more time to produce eggs. The downside to this is every now and then we're going to get a critter that is about to lay an egg that turns into brine instead. So I don't know what I think about this. But the fact that I don't know if that's a preference for elderly, but we'll see. If he also eats less than 1, or just at maximum 1 is cycled. Okay, well, I'm definitely going to be watching what happens here. But we got a false signal there. What value did I use? Below 5. So I currently have 5 critters in there. So if I put below 4, it's also false. So I think we're past that Rhex bug. So it's looking at, we're below 6. So right now we've got 4 of these 4. So this is what I need to have the proper setting. It's 5 or below. The only issue is I don't want to be in a situation where... How do you load in 2 different types of critters into one stable? Because if this guy were to disappear... Oh, because I'm maxed... Okay, because this logic will take care of that. Okay, I think this is good. I think we're all okay now. Yes, Rancher. We're happy. Just experimenting with the actual navigation of these critters. So Rhex cannot get past a single jump like this. Interesting, a dartle can go, I don't know if it can go down. Well, let's just watch. Yeah, they jump over it, but they don't seem to go into this spot here. Not sure that helps me, but anyways, there it is. So just added an extra tile here. Again, not expecting to change with Rhex. Rhex can't get across. Dartle, though, can actually get down now. Can always get across if they want, but if they want, they can jump down to that point. Let's see if one of these guys goes down for a second. They do, and they can climb back up the wall. So I'm not liking this setup. We're going to move this critter over here. But two things. One, I think it's just really sad to see these critters get really high metabolism, or reproduction, rather, and then be turned into brine before another egg is produced. That's not good. The other thing is this is going to produce lots of labor, where continually a dupe will have to go in here, pick up one of these guys, and drop it off, though I may do that in this area anyway, so I don't know that I can save myself from that, but I can save myself from watching high reproductive. Okay, if we can wrangle you at high priority before you eat that dirtle, that'd be nice. So we're gonna, after all, create a dedicated Rhex stable, though we are going to try and load both types of critters in here. That is a little bit tricky, especially given the limitation the critter sensor, but we'll see how we go with this. Okay, that did not work. Oh, yeah, because I have to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of that. Let's bring this back down to a 4. Let's wrangle you. Okay, this guy's just going nuts. Eating critters. Is there like any end to his hunger? I'm hoping there is. Otherwise, this is an absolute terrible idea. What I had. Don't do this. Okay, reproduce. No, I want to look at metabolism. No calories. Critter can burn. So I'm just curious if he has a max. We can finally make him so he stops eating for a while. We're at 7,000. Someone please wrangle. And remove. And who are you? Oh, tame critter, you just escaped from there. Okay, so this is going to be where we automate the removal of eggs, or store eggs, convert a little bit of meat. This guy does make meat, right? When he's... Actually, that's an interesting question. Or does it drop tough meat? It might be tough meat, actually. It'd just be good to know. Okay, it is tough meat. Also going to relocate this guy down here. Just that, you know, this guy will be able to access it, and this guy still will not. But what I suspect is going to be the problem is that I'm going to have a critter sensor I'll put here. And that's going to feed into this line to say if any food is needed. Oh, let's go like that instead. If any food is needed, then do wrangling here and drop off one of these turtles at this location. And do the same thing. So we'll have one Rhex and one of these turtles at any given time. So we'll check for at least having 2. And if we have less than 2, then that's going to give a signal to do wrangling. And I won't know, or the dupes won't know what critter to go for, so they're going to have to wrangle both and just wait for the situation. Actually, maybe it makes more sense to put that at this end, since the Rhexes are going to be over here. But it should work out, even though there's a little bit of wasted effort where someone's going to be wrangling something we don't necessarily need. I would suspect most of the time the wrangling's going to be over here. We did not get you out. That was Rhex selected, yeah. I'm also wondering if the Rhex cannot be put there because of the location, which means that might not work. Okay, let's actually get rid of that. That's another limitation, I wonder, that they don't make super clear. Will this actually work for Rhex? Say maximum of 1. Oh, it may have been the maximum, because if there's a Rhex, technically, yeah, maybe that was the issue. How many Rhexes do you see? 1 of 1. So that might be more the issue. Did I destroy that? Okay, it might work. I want to know if that is going to be an issue or not. We'll put a maximum of 1. Someone should be picking this critter up, dropping them off here if this is going to work. Let's just put it to this. Oh, no. Yeah, it's going to work. Excellent. Okay, well, that's good to see. This is going to be for... I think I already set this, didn't I? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we just need our true signal. Right now, we're getting... It is set to true, so we should be wrangling. Maybe it's just not high enough priority. So this is going to be the system to wrangle from here. So there will be an effort. That's, I guess, the nice thing about the... If I were to use meat instead, I wouldn't have to involve the dupe labor of moving these turtles. So I'm starting to wonder if, even though I get less brine, that may have been the more attractive option. Okay, so let's take this. It's going to be eggs that fall to the ground. That way we don't need that anymore. Can get rid of this little line. But this isn't... Oh, because we need maximum 1. That's why that wasn't working. Let's try this again. Zero of 1. We're getting a true signal. So what I want to say is if you are 2 or below, or if you're below 3, then be true. And that's going to be the same setting over here. So waiting to see if we can get a dartle loaded right there, but I'm putting in the automated egg removal, which was desperately needed down here. Well, it's pretty much needed, desperately needed in any stable for that matter. But we're getting a true signal, so we should get wrangling happening here. That's a priority. We're doing a maximum 0. Nobody's going over to wrangle. Temporarily bring that up. I don't think that's the factor, is it? Why are we getting so much confusion today in how stables work? Oh. We're also getting hydrogen, way too much hydrogen. What's going on here? I built these, but I guess we're not actually using them, are we? Whoops. Let's have that go like that. And then this was supposed to basically be kind of doing this type of thing. And then we'll be able to utilize that hydrogen down this direction. And just in case it's needed, better put in 1 or even 2 more for later. Okay, so we have our Rhex. This drop-off is not working. We've got 3 of 4. We actually need another one over here, too. Oh, those are all just dirt. Oh, let's. Okay, I get it. Let's wrangle here. It takes a little while to kind of figure out all these things. So now we got 4 here. Oh, and look at this. Now my only concern, well, I don't know if it's my only concern, but one concern I have with this particular setup, I can get rid of that vent, is this going to be too much labor of continually wrangling? Because every time this guy eats one of these guys, it's going to send a green signal here being like there's less than 2 critters. So let's watch what happens. Well, you weren't dropping off critter. This guy's being attended to. So right now, we're getting false. And this guy eats something. Does he pretty much just eat? Eat? Very much need to know this. Calories. It seems to be maxing out around, I'm going to say maybe it's 8,000? Just 8. So I'm thinking if he's just 8, he's not going to have to just eat again. Correct? Status closed. There we go. Just 8. Well, what's the effect? Oh, scale growth. Oh, yeah, scale growth. We're not actually taking advantage of that. Maybe... No, I don't think that has anything to do with other than we're just not getting our scales. So here's... I'm going to make the assumption this guy is going to be eaten so soon he's never going to lay an egg. But we'll put critter eggs here. Actually, it doesn't matter because even if he'll just be dropped off there and it's only the Rhex eggs that are going to be picked up and go in that direction. Whoa. Is this everything and is this going to work long term? Not quite sure. But this guy at least is showing up as just 8, so you're fine for the moment, but probably not for very long. Maybe we can go to do something else for a moment. So now that I think that I'm happy with the Rhex stable, let's move all the wild Rhexes over here. Choosing this location because I've got an auto sweeper that'll pick up tough meat. So I guess these critters are only going to be generating tough meat. We won't get any of their, much of this sharing. What is it that they make those feathers? For some reason I can't actually, I have to go over the feather fiber. Need to drop off like this. This is going to be a temporary one. So what maybe I'll do, maybe do Rhex. High priority for the moment, but I've got to disable that. This is just temporarily. Whenever I want a Rhex, I'm going after this guy up there. Get there in time. Maybe I'll even put in a switch. Just make that easy to turn on and off. But once I have that, also get our Rhexes that we do have access to down here. Start that wrangling as soon as this is created. Also have the tough meat line. Make sure this guy can access that. So can that guy. So any tough meat that's been made from these guys will go down. Okay, so just need that last little wire. So go connect. Make sure we don't go through here. Go into there. That is going to pick up both meat and tough meat, and it's going, I guess, that go into the same place. Deep freezer, yeah, makes sense. Unfortunately, it might be easier if I do a structure like this. Make sure that wire goes up like, oh yeah. So I'm thinking by the time this is done, we've got to have our button on. Okay, so that is ready to go. So what I'll do is I'll just wrangle a bunch of these guys. It's the wild version that I'm concentrating on. This guy's tame. So is this guy. If I could, it doesn't work, but ideally I would want him here. It's really annoying that doesn't work. try it again. The other critters, no problem. Any other Rhexes? There's you here, so let's just get all our... Oh, don't need you. And let's wrangle you. Alright, so we got a Rhex hangout. I think I put power over to there to collect tough meat from them. But maybe this is all good. So a few adjustments. I was all excited here to get our tough meat collection, and I still will, but that has made it so I can't get our critter sensor that's going to determine whether we need these Rhex eggs to be dropped off over here. Looking at this guy, it's actually working out really nice. Age 21 reproduction is going on, so we'll get lots of eggs. He'll actually be able to populate that naturally, so I don't think there's actually any need to bring these guys over to that room. We'll just attack these two. Be done with that. But wild and wild. Go back over here. Put in a critter sensor. No. Oh, yes, a critter sensor. And that's going to be hooked up to this door right here. I just have to... Ooh, so much I have to go through. Not that hard, though. And is this sending a true... this might not be good. Okay, we'll do wrangling. Well, I guess only point in wrangling one of those guys, right? And is this the moving ability? Actually, hold on. Okay, I already did it. That's fine. That should get a dupe to pick this guy up and drop him off over here. I'm just curious if this moving relocate to is just specific to Rhex. Okay, missed prey. Yeah, it seems to be specific to just Rhex. Oh, and that's the other disadvantage. Or actually, that's the advantage of only feeding this guy one at a time. We're minimizing the amount of dartles that are going into the grooming station. Whereas up here, if I have 4 of these guys... Well, no. Actually, in this case, we want... Yeah, that didn't work anyways, because you don't want to eat someone that's in the process of laying an egg. But I guess that's why we want to minimize the amount of these dartles. Otherwise, we're just wasting manual effort. So it definitely does create more effort as far as I can see to try to maximize food. Kind of liking the idea of just that I had earlier with feeding them meat and tough meat, even though it's less effective. Just end off on finishing this little construction. Oh, let's check out the hydrogen situation as well. Okay, that pump is, at least, as long as that pump is running, this is giving me a little bit of fears because I've had a hydrogen issue in one of my recent playthroughs. Let's not get rid of that, but I'll push this up. Let's take that over. This guy is just hanging out. We'll experiment with that critter another time. Just before I end for today, let's do some experimentation on this mega frond. It's a wild version. We'll wrangle you. I'm gonna make sure I remember to actually turn this off after wrangling. But anyway, we'll start off by opening up this space where we can grow some of these plants. Let's have a look. I know this guy consumes chlorine. Obviously, this guy's not going to be happy where there is no chlorine, so we'll remove you. So we need to get chlorine. Is that it? Chlorine gas. So you don't need to give it anything else. Even if I plant it somewhere. Are you serious? Like if I plant that, I don't know. I don't know whether, actually, one thing I want to know. Does the farming station work on this type of plant? Let's start with that. This will be kind of interesting, putting in a farm tile. This almost seems like there's no cost difference between having a wild and a non-wild, other than, I guess, life cycle. 36 cycles, so it takes 30. That's a long time. Oh, that's a long time. Maybe that's the pain point. I guess we're probably not going to be really experimenting with this other than throwing this in. We'll see if our farming station does anything for the growth. I'm going to guess it does, but once it becomes an adult, it'll have no effect. Actually, I can test that. So I can put a farming station around one of these guys. Do we have any seeds? We do. Wherever that is, we'll use that. Get it to start growing, because apparently 36 cycles till we'll have it. Wow. Actually, is that big enough room for a farm? It is. Greenhouse. Oh. Oh, okay. I'm assuming they just haven't put in the graphics yet. I was like, oh, that was instant growth. No, it is at 0%, I think, in the testing version. They haven't quite made the mini version. The mega frond. But, yeah, will a farmer go in? Is my question. Oh, fertilizer's been delivered. Make this a 6. That's already 6. Nothing's happening now. Maybe not. Now, would it be any different for the plant that's already in existence? Well, building this little section up here to test. Oh, I built right next to it, which turned that into a seed, didn't it? Whoops. Okay, gonna try this design instead. I'm not really liking the fact that you can build over plants. I mean, there are cases where it's nice, and a case like this where I don't like that. But this thing's growing much faster than I thought it was. We're already at 5, now we're at 6%. Oh, it also says wild growth. I mean... Okay. I mean, it's in it. Why is it telling me about wild growth? Is that how all plants work? Wild growth life cycle. Is that new? Every plant indicates... Or has that even been there before? Wild growth. Throughput. I think that is something that's new. I normally look over here. Or do I actually have to go to internet to normally get that information, how long something grows for? Okay, that's a bit strange. It's growing much faster than 36 cycles. So this guy here, though, is not wild. So maybe that explains it. Okay, so we've got a farm in here. So this guy is fully, grown. I don't see what you would get from... If we actually get a farmer going up here, I'll be so confused. No, I'm going to say... That does nothing. That kind of makes sense. So I think that's going to be the end of experimenting with this until that gets to be full-sized. Gone back from experimenting with that. Me end off with getting up here, moving these critters, and maybe throwing a little bit of chlorine. Maybe there's a bit more experimentation to do with this guy. So this should be pretty easy, I'm thinking. We'll just make a wall here so chlorine can't escape. Pump it right down there. Let's see where we get. Actually, maybe I want to make that wall a little bit taller. Okay, so here's my revised wall. I can actually make it taller if need be, but we'll start with this. In fact, if that's the case, maybe we don't need to go as far. No, don't put that there. Put that there. Feel like when you're building something on top of a plant, it should at least show, even if it allows you to do that, it should at least highlight red that it's going to actually take that plant out. That'd be nice. Okay, finally getting up here. We'll wrangle you. I think that's the last of the Rhexes that are wild that I can... Oh, I missed you, bud. Still missed you. Here we go. Oh, there's something going on. These guys are not being wrangled at all. I don't know if that's because of the weird angle. Maybe it's the same thing down here, or maybe I've never been in there. I'm not sure. To wrangle. Let's try this again. Okay, wrangle, wrangle. Let's see if they... Okay, now they're moving. Oh, that didn't work. Look at that. Maybe in a small space they can't be picked up? Because that's what we saw. This guy's been wrangled. Can they be picked up? What? Why? We're having... Okay, finally get rid of him. Maybe it just takes multiple times? Also seeing a chlorine vent that might have to just wait until this thing grows, but we'll probably tap into that. What about this? Okay, getting our chlorine. This guy is, it says consuming chlorine. And that way we'll start to get some natural mega frond grain. Probably makes sense then to start harvesting. And oh my goodness, more wild turtles. I'm gonna bring those down here. I think that is enough fun for today. Oh, yeah. Forget about that little spot. Are you wild? You are. Okay, let's just clean this up. Move these wild critters. Lots of wild critters have been moved over the last little bit. I mean, lots and lots, and oh my goodness, more. So this guy here going down over here to join these guys. But yeah, I'll take care of moving some of those. I think that might be it for the feather biome, at least for now. Once this guy grows, 22% actually may not. It might actually be in the next episode. Experiment a little bit more with this. You know what? I better extend our little. Maybe there's no point in that. You know what? I'll keep that there just in case they change that. But I suspect that's pointless. I'll do one final thing. We're just gonna plant another one of these here and here. Suffocating. Probably that hydrogen area, I suspect. Yeah, trying to get this guy. That's gonna be hard. You know what? Let's give up on that. Let's not worry about that. Leave him alone. We'll have to get an Atmos suit another time for that. Do we have all our Rhexes together? If we do... Oh, Foxflon. That's the signal that I've got to disable this finally. Okay, so that's done. Let's plant the remaining mega frond. Only had one. I thought there was another, maybe not. And I almost think I'm going to take this guy down. I don't think there's a benefit of having the wild versions of these. I don't believe. So why not dig this out, move this guy down. So we'll have 3 growing, so I can experiment with them together at that location down there. Plant you right along these 3. Someone should be firing down. There we go. Okay, well that is it for the feather biome for now. I think I do have to get over to some of the other biomes, the critters and plants. Until then, this is Airplane, oxygen not included, the new testing version of Prehistoric DLC. Another bonus section here. I see our little Rhex is on the just 8, and it says 8.9 cycles. I would have thought that meant that he's not going to eat again for that long. If that's the case, that's quite nice, but that just doesn't seem to match what I'm seeing. So he's tossing. I'll cycle 152 to see if anything comes to this. Just caught Rhex here at the end of cycle 152. We've got just 8 still, but he had attempted but missed the prey. So even though he just ate, I guess they just continue to eat and eat and eat. Anyways. Oh, boom. Oh no, I thought he ate that critter from there. That was a bit strange. So after Miss Prey is done, it's got 8 looking for food, even though it just 8 is there. I love the eyes. Never noticed that before. Oh my goodness. Oh, but he missed. So missed prey. Fair enough. Another thing I didn't notice before. It said plus forgiveness was given on this critter. Also, it has now a fleeing status. The critter is trying to escape. Get him. But yeah, I guess it can technically get up there. But it's probably not going to be smart enough to hang out on the wall forever. Well, again, another attempt. Curious if I wrangle this, whether it makes it easier to eat, or whether they will eat it if it's trust. If you fall to the ground, hold on. Then our Rhex is like, boom. Are you going to miss something that's this easy? What's going on? Kind of getting some shaking around. You missed again? Okay, random thing. I did not realize when you did this doesn't consider to be a critter in the stable, because I was like, why do we have another dartle? I guess because this picked up the fact that we didn't have enough in that particular time. That's interesting. Did not know that. Oh, and boom, the new critter. No problem eating that. I don't know what I think. Even if it's this guy, if I'm doing the same thing with meat, does this mean like it chews on? Because I had made the assumption early on, clearly wrong, that this critter would eat half a kilogram of either tough meat or 800 calories of regular meat. But I think the way this works is it's a scarily amount more. Certainly I don't want more than 1 Rhex in this process. And one extra thing here. After this critter eats, it says expressing themselves. This duplicant needs a moment to express their feelings. Then they'll be on their way. realize that message was there. Expelling waste. And I guess that's just their brine. Cool.